Yalik Borisov, and I'll be telling you about the main news at this hour. I'm glad to welcome everyone. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy reported on the consequences of Russian strikes on the country's regions. According to him, work is underway in Odessa to restore power supply following the Russian attack on the energy infrastructure. In Kharkiv, a Russian army drone destroyed 4 floors of a residential building. In Pavlohrad, energy facilities and the area near a shopping center were hit. 9 people were injured, including 4 children.
Russia continues to rely on ballistic terror, which is not limited to a single city or town. Just this week, 61 missiles of various types were used against Ukraine, including 56 that fly on a ballistic trajectory. Also, more than 1,560 strike drones and 1,540 aerial bombs were deployed. Every such strike on life reminds us again and again we need more pressure, more sanctions against Russia, and more air defense for Ukraine. I am grateful to those who help. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
The number of injured in Kharkiv as a result of the Russian attack has risen to 27. Early in the morning, the Russian army struck residential buildings, a warehouse, and a park with missiles and banderol-type drones. At this moment, 2 deaths are confirmed. One of the strikes hit a 10-story residential building. The floor slabs on 3 floors were completely destroyed. Rescuers managed to pull 7 people from under the rubble. Emergency services are working at the site of the attack, and the clearing of debris is ongoing.
There were 3 strikes in the Saltivsky district, one of which hit a 10-story residential building. Several floor slabs were destroyed, effectively 3 floors. Work is currently ongoing. Emergency medical services are working on site. Rescue units are dealing with the aftermath. The main thing now is to clear the floor slabs and make sure there were no people underneath them. And plus, there is a lot of work ahead regarding the building to determine the extent of the damage and its future viability. This isn't a commute.
In the rubble, and she turned. The neighboring door was blown open by the blast wave. I go out to the balcony, windows are shattering. I hear again the rumble after the explosion. There was no siren. People are running, some in pajamas, some in robes. I poked my head out, saw a lot of debris and a lot of open wounds. It was scary. It was really scary.
9 people injured as a result of the Russian attack on Odessa. The Russian army launched nearly 24 missiles and 100 attack drones at the city. Historic buildings were damaged, as well as houses in the residential sector. Infrastructure was also under attack. After the attack, power supply disruptions were recorded in the city. There's no water in some districts. Details in Ksenia Satinskaya's report.
These are the consequences of the Russian night strike on residential infrastructure. This is what an apartment in the historic center of Odessa looks like. The home has effectively turned into ruins. The attack began around 3 in the morning when everyone was already asleep. One of the attack drones fell right in the courtyard. The blast wave blew out doors and windows in the apartments, and in some, ceilings collapsed. The pets in this apartment are still very scared and are in a state of shock.
We ran out, we went first, I'm on the ground floor, and the glass blew out below me. The door blew out. There is a basement under my apartment. At first, we ran from the hotel. The tenants ran to our basement, but then the smoke started. We ran out of there to the end of the courtyard, and we're still out on the street. I haven't even gone back into my apartment yet.
The very center of Odessa was under attack. Most of the buildings here are architectural monuments that are part of the UNESCO protected zone.
The damage there is severe. Everything was blown out. We just ran out into the street in whatever we were wearing.
I was in the living room. There were a lot of explosions. Then the windows blew out, the lights went out, there was smoke, and cars were burning. Then after, my car burned down too. Well, all the cars in the courtyard were burning.
Rescue services have been working at the scene nonstop since the night. They also managed to pull pets out from under the rubble. This ginger cat survived by a miracle. He was found in a completely destroyed apartment. The cat's owners are currently in the hospital.
The apartment burned down completely. How the cat survived is unknown because the roof collapsed. The condition there is dire.
To shell Odessa, the Russian occupiers used dozens of missiles and about 100 attack drones. Residential areas and critical infrastructure were hit. Ksenia Satinska, Zurab Tuduri from Odessa for the Freedom TV channel.
The Russian Federation attacked Ukraine with ballistic, anti-ship, and anti-radar missiles. In addition, the invaders launched 202 attack drones at Ukraine. According to preliminary data, air defense forces shot down and suppressed with electronic warfare equipment 174 Russian drones, as well as 5 Banderol loitering munitions in the north, south, and east of the country. Ukraine must receive reliable security guarantees from its partners, in particular the USA. President Zelenskyy stated this. He emphasized, "No one can be sure that Putin will not continue his aggression and go further. The Kremlin will continue to manipulate agreements."
He needs to sell a victory. He will not have a victory in Ukraine. He needs to capture the Donbass. We are not going to leave on our own. What does he have to sell as a victory? He will distort those key conditions from Anchorage that they discussed with the American side, with the US president. He will interpret them one way or another. But he is not ready to change his constitution and acknowledge that this is our part, our state, and that a ceasefire is needed, and no one is going to just abandon their country and their people. After all, no one can guarantee that this person won't go further.
Putin is not ready to agree to peace on the terms of Ukraine and the U.S. This was stated on the Air of Freedom by the former head of the Foreign Intelligence Service of Ukraine, Mykola Malamud. According to him, the Russian leadership has chosen a strategy of a protracted war. It includes intensifying attacks on the territory of Ukraine, residential areas, logistics, and energy infrastructure. According to Malamud, only a critical situation for Russia, both on the front lines and within the country, could change Putin's position.
Strengthening our military component is the main strategic trump card, as Trump says. This strengthening means the latest technology, weaponry, especially strengthening the components of drones, robotic systems, and strike missile systems. I'm going to state a key point now, because we still have too few of them, even though we've long been saying that it's necessary to switch to a war footing. And all of our design bureaus, not just the new Flying Point, but all the ones that have existed, there are dozens of them, need to be switched to a war footing for the production of such missiles, having long-range, medium-range, and short-range ballistics. This, of course, would have suppressed Russia's system.
Overnight, Ukrainian Unmanned Systems Forces struck 3 Russian vessels in the Black Sea. According to Commander Robert Bravedy, among them are an oil tanker and 2 dry cargo ships. According to his data, since the beginning of Operation Dairy, which started on July 6th, the total number of Russian vessels hit has exceeded 220. The Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, occupied by Russian troops, lost external power supply twice the day before. This was reported by Energomatom. In the morning, the power transmission line that supplies the station's needs was disconnected. During the work, they were powered by diesel generators. Power supply was restored in less than an hour, but by the second half of the day, the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant was de-energized again. Later, the station was reconnected to the power transmission line. Energoatom emphasized that such interruptions create additional risks for the nuclear and radiation safety of the station. A state of emergency has been declared in the Canadian province of British Columbia due to a massive forest fire. The fires engulfed about 9,500 hectares. Due to the threat of it spreading, more than 20,000 people have been evacuated. British Columbia Premier David Eby compared the fire to a bomb explosion. According to him, homes have already been destroyed, and some people have become trapped. Many residents left the dangerous area at night before the highways were closed due to the rapid spread of the fire. In total, more than 100 fires are raging in British Columbia. Nearly 1,500 firefighters are battling them, and the province has issued 40 evacuation orders. Large-scale wildfires have also engulfed other Canadian provinces, Ontario and Quebec this summer, and the total area of burned forest in Canada has exceeded 40,000 square kilometers. In China, a maximum danger level has been declared due to the approaching Typhoon Dolphin. The powerful storm is expected to hit the country's east coast by this evening. Wind speeds could reach 45 meters per second. From Sunday to Wednesday, the heaviest downpours are forecast for a number of regions in China. Dolphin is also raging in Japan. Wind gusts there are reaching 216 kilometers per hour. Due to the bad weather, 6 people were injured, and more than 50,000 homes were left without electricity.
Subscribe to UATV English and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.